So you weren't part of the resistance movement? There were a number of Hollywood celebrities.
Not resisting.
You got Michael Moore, you got Chelsea Handler, you've got Bette Midler. All
usual suspects.
Yeah, all talking about how this is a terrible president. November's coming. Rob Reiner tweeted this out. The greatest gift we can give to America on her 242nd birthday is the survival of democracy. Forces of authoritarianism and racism are fighting to destroy it. Now is the time for patriots to stand up, make our voices heard. We love you, America. Stay strong. Thank you, Rob Reiner.
No, thank you, Rob Reiner. I would say patriots are standing up and hearing their voices heard, and that's why Donald Trump is sitting in the Oval Office. I think it's
driving them crazy.
It's driving them absolutely insane. And look, Hollywood has acted almost as a megaphone for the left. It wasn't just Hollywood that was tweeting this. There was also a tweet from Kamala Harris about illegal immigrants in support of illegal immigration. On the one day that you would think that they could hit pause and celebrate this great nation, our troops, you know, the many troops that are still alive that fought in wars, and they were unable to do it. So they don't defeat the notion whatsoever that we all feel that the left is un-American and Hollywood is just a megaphone for them.
What I think find most disturbing is I love that Rob Reiner said something positive about America before he closed out, but for the most part, all you get is critics in anger, and they say, well, America is based on protests. On the USA Today and New York Times, they don't talk about celebrating. They tell you how to protest.
Right.
How to start your own protest. I think protest is part of America, but not on its birthday.
No, that's exactly right. So it's really abhorrent behavior. But again, I think this just pushes people further and further away from Democrats and further away from the left and more on our side. So that's the optimism. That's the silver lining in all of this.
There are some black female leaders that have criticized Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer for not protecting what they say Maxine Waters. This is what the letter from the black women leaders and allies. We write to share our profound indignation and deep disappointment over your recent failure to protect Congresswoman Waters from unwarranted attacks from the Trump administration and others in the GOP. That failure was further compounded by your decision to unfairly deride her as being uncivil and un-American. Your reaction?
I actually loved this because the left created the black card, and now they have to see what happens when you do something like this, when you say that a black woman cannot be criticized whatsoever despite what she does. Maxine Waters was patently wrong. There was no argument to be made for what she said. Her remarks were uncivil, and it was inspiring hatred toward not just Trump, the Trump administration, and the people that support Donald Trump. So they were right to condemn her, and she was roundly condemned across the board. And how did she get out of it? She had some people play the black card. And they have to contend with that. This is the environment that they've created that I speak out against, saying that we should be able to have civil discourse. We should be able to say, despite the color of your skin, you can do something wrong in this country. So I thought that this is sort of the left eating its own. And Nancy Pelosi, I saw, responded, and she issued a statement essentially backing Maxine Waters. Right. So Maxine Waters, in the end, won in her own party simply because she's black.
They say the most gettable section of the voting base is going to be white middle-class women. Do you feel differently? There's another relevant group that is going to have their voices heard in the midterms. Who are they?
Absolutely. I recently tweeted, I think the black vote is going to become the most relevant vote in America by 2020. We're already seeing a major shift.
Men and women.
Men and women.
Why is that? Why do you think that?
It's just the conversation is different. I actually think digital media has allowed for this. For so long, we were sort of trapped, and we saw the version of society that CNN projected towards us. That's sort of what was being played in our households. Now we have social media. Now they're hearing voices and different ideas and people that are combating sort of the wrong facts that are coming out of their TV screens. And they're seeing people like me who popped up on YouTube with a different version. Right. And I am seeing so many black people pop up on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, using different hashtags. There is going to be a major black exit from the Democrat Party, and they're going to have to actually compete for their votes in 2020.
And when Donald Trump was running for president, famously, he said, what do you have to lose?
And he was correct. We had absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain, and we are gaining it.
Candace, you grew up in a Democratic family.
That is correct.
You were telling me during the break, you said, I did grow up to think that Republicans were racist.
I did.
Republicans were. Why did you decide to switch parties? Why did you become a Republican?
It wasn't a why. It was just understanding that racism, especially while Donald Trump was running, was just being used as a theme to trap black voters. You couldn't deny it. This was a man that was celebrated by the left. He was loved by the hip-hop world. Every song that I listened to growing up celebrated Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago. He was the goal. The second he decided to run for the president, he was announced as a racist.
And when they did studies on who's watching The Apprentice, he was through the roof when it came to minorities, blacks and Hispanics.
We loved him.
That changed. Leslie, what could the administration do better to get the word out that they are looking to solicit the votes of the African American community?
I think they are doing a tremendous job in just buckling down and focusing on things that matter, slashing regulations, giving opportunities to Black Americans, again, tackling the illegal immigrant situation that negatively impacts Black people beyond any other group in this society.
But what about numbers, bread and butter numbers when it comes to unemployment?
Right.
Record low.
That's exactly what I'm speaking about. Exactly. And that is because of all of the work that they're doing now in terms of getting the word out. That's what I'm for. That's exactly what I'm focused on. We've been working on a major project that we are going to announce in about 3 weeks that is going to specifically target urban communities and sort of bring them this great awakening that I see
So get
happening.
out your calendar. 3 weeks from now, we're going to book you.
Absolutely.
And I'll see